Can people still defend EA at this point?
Well, I mean, all of them, EA, Activision, Ubisoft. But before we go further, I'm joined here. Once again, we have another episode of BS Busters podcast. We've changed our format. We no longer cover news in the middle of the week just because it's much easier to encapsulate all the news of the week in one podcast at the end of the week instead of trying to get half of it in the middle of the week and then the other half later on in the week. So the big news podcast at the end, a new segment instead of doing news in the middle of the week is Fox's Forge, where we basically create a game depending on what our whims are. But with that being said, I'll have the lady introduce herself, then the gentleman, and then we'll dive right into it.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome to the BS Busters podcast. I'm Jory Munstar, and which one are we at today?
And this is Picking Off of Video Game Facts. And it's still thinking of what should be my perfect licensed video game at the moment.
That's okay. We'll I mean, this is going to be a large topic, so we're probably going to do multiple ones. So as you brainstorm, just, you're like, oh, that's a good idea. And of course, it's me, Mr. Red Fox. And tonight we're talking about what is the perfect licensed game. So the catalyst for this topic was I saw an article in PC Gamer and Polygon talking about the Square Enix Avengers game that's coming out next year. You know, the one that has like the Avengers stunt doubles as the character model because they weren't. Square Enix wasn't spending the money to get the likenesses of the Avengers characters, which is cool because Square Enix does not have as much money as people think. And I'm okay with that. But they could have gone with a stylized version of these characters from the comics, and no one would have said a word. Because if you really think about it, there hasn't been a single there's been like one Batman game, that first Batman game back in the day from Warner Brothers. It wasn't. It was based on the movie. It wasn't based on like Rocksteady's thing, and that game was actually pretty bad. But like every other Batman game has basically used a version of Batman that was kind of like. He did more to the comics than he did to any individual character from a movie or TV series, and that was okay. So after seeing screenshots of this game where they have like Captain Catherine Janeway from Star Trek Voyager as Black Widow, and Thor's stunt double, and the on-screen double for Hawkeye when he ate a bad enchilada and he's in the toilet for like 3 hours working it out. Yeah, and not Bruce Banner. Who are you? I'm not Bruce Banner. You wouldn't like me when I get mildly perturbed. So anyway, yeah. So after watching that, I was like, you know what? There are some licenses that could get made that would be friggin' awesome. We're joined by Kenoshi. How's it going, Kenoshi?
Hey, what's going on?
Just in time for the fun.
Yeah, we're talking about licensed games that basically, like in our mind, would be perfect. Because like I said earlier before you got here, the thing that made me think about this was watching a piece where they were talking about the Avengers game that Square Enix is making, where it's basically like they couldn't get the licenses to the characters, to the likenesses of the actors who play the characters, so they went with these generic looks that just, because they're going for such a realistic art style, looks ridiculous.
Why didn't they just exactly? Why didn't they just use the likeness of the comic book characters and create a comic book art style? I think people would have liked that.
They could have done anything. They could have done a Black Widow that looks just Russian, and that would have been okay. But no, it's Catherine Janeway.
I think a lot of people would have probably preferred that more.
Yeah.
Or at least I would have. But I'm going to speak for everybody else, but
Yeah, I would have been cool with it.
there's a lot more you can do with a more artistic art style. There's a lot more you can get away with an artistic art style, where versus having something that's more lifelike. Can't get away. There's certain things you can't get away with.
Yeah, I mean they kind of messed up in my opinion. They kind of went a little bit too cheap in my opinion. But anyway, before we go any further, I have a joke for everyone here. It's gonna and I already know what you guys are gonna do. First you're gonna groan, then you're gonna laugh. Question: how did two porcupines mate? Answer: very, very, very carefully.
What? What? That's such a weird joke.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, that being
We
said,
get the point.
nice pun there. You touche, madam, touche. But anyway, so with that being said, I have an idea for a licensed game that to me would be hilarious. I don't think it could get made just because it would be so politically incorrect, but I don't care. I would love to do this. Okay, has everyone here heard of the Lost Vikings?
I've heard of it.
Oh boy.
Okay, so I had an idea. I was playing Lost Vikings on my SNES, Lost Vikings 1 and 2. And I basically came up with an idea. Okay, so after playing Lost Vikings, I watched some Sanford and Son because I have the entire collection on Blu-ray, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna watch Sanford and Son." What if you did a Sanford and Son video game, adventure game, kind of like the Lost Vikings 2, and you it has the Lost Vikings formula or Trine formula where you have 3 characters, but the third character is always like different levels is a different third character. So sometimes you might have Esther. Aunt Esther.
It's short a guest character, right?
Yeah, or Grady, or Bubba, or Julio. You know, but it's always Fred Sanford and his son Lamont going through levels, doing stuff and it might be something mundane, like, hey, you gotta help, and they each have their little abilities. So like Fred Sanford would have his fake a heart attack. Elizabeth, I'm coming to join you, honey, with a monkey on my back, you know. And Lamont's like, this is ridiculous, you know. And then, you know, your guest character would have a little special ability. I think it would be hilarious to have a little Lost Vikings little adventure game. Like maybe, you know, you could each level would be like an episode. So it could be like, you know, episode 19. You know, stuff like that. I think that would be hilarious. That's my idea of just a pretty good little license game. Anyone want to jump in there with their with what they would think would be an interesting license game?
Probably a cliche one, but I think it would be a classic. Fast and Furious as a battle racer, I'm trying to get the name. God, Sweet Tooth.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. It's that game from David Jaffe that people were just enthralled with for some reason. I'll never understand.
Like Road Rage?
Yeah. It was more like a battle arena. There weren't really races. Some people were like, yeah, it's got races.
That's what I was thinking, because I was thinking Fast and the Furious, but in a battle driving game.
I'd be down with it. But then again, I you know.
Yeah,
so,
I was thinking.
Do you have any ideas that would kind of make this game a little bit different, a little bit better? What?
I mean, we already got. I mean, there's plenty of nitro. There's plenty of guns. So if anything, we need. So why not? So I'm just thinking, why not? Look, why not try to? Why not some King of the Hill kind of driving to mix things up, or or gas or gas thief, where you every time you bump into somebody, you're swiping some of their tank.
I'd be cool with it. Anyone else have any?
I've got nothing in regards to Lost Vikings.
No. What would be a nice little kind of
Edition.
a licensed game that you think could be done that would just be like awesome? You're like, wow, this is a pretty cool little licensed game.
Oh, well, there is one I was thinking, but I've already mentioned it a few times before, once or twice before. And a turn-based RPG of My Little Pony themed after the Friendship is Magic series.
That'd be
Oh
cool.
boy.
I'd be cool with it.
Of course, it'll use the animation and sprites will be done in the same style as the show that it's based on,
I'd be cool with it.
as well as having enemies and bosses based off of the monsters and villains from the show.
I'd be cool with it.
Coupled with some original ones, since it's going to be supposed to take. Since I'm debating whether or not it should take place during or after the final season, which is this year.
I'd be cool with it.
We still got a platinum-made Transformers game based off of the original G1 show.
Yeah, and that game is pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, that game is pretty damn good.
So I wouldn't mind a turn-based MLP RPG based off of the 2010 show, even after we get a new show in 2020 onward, because Hasbro will know that's the show fans enjoyed the most. Much like how they know that Gen 1 is the show that most Transformers fans enjoyed most.
Well, that's the show that made them popular, and it was very kiddie and kind of stupid, but we liked it.
What show is that?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Plus, I mean, like here's the thing, okay? Like, because I'm in that age group. Back in that time, as long as you had a cool theme song on television, you had our asses, right?
You had something to look forward to, right?
Because like you didn't really control the TV, but as soon as you heard that theme song, your little ass would run to the TV and plop your ass down and watch it. I mean, like even if it wasn't that good of a show, if the theme song was hot, like you got us. So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like even now, I haven't seen that show like on television in a long time. But if you play that theme song, I immediately know the words because I watched that show so goddamn much when I was a kid.
Some songs are that deep in our heads.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's one of the reasons why Power Rangers never really held an appeal to me, aside from the fact that, like, I had seen Power Rangers before it ever happened, which was, Godzilla. But, like, it's very, it was like, yeah, it's kind of like what I was used to. So, Kenoshi, you have any licensed games that you wish got made but never did?
I don't know. Maybe a good Harry Potter game. That would have been nice.
There was a good Harry Potter game.
I know there were Harry Potter games, but they weren't particularly all that great. But when you go back to them.
Well, I mean, there was that really nice RPG for the Game Boy Color. There was like the 2 for the GameCube. Like, people forget there was a time in the 6th gen where there were good licensed games, but the problem is that after the 6th gen, they pretty much every single companies that got licenses realized that they didn't have to put any effort into the license because people were going to buy it regardless. The only company that continued to release like quality licensed games after the 6th gen really was the Traveler's Tales people who make the Lego games.
Yeah.
Even the shitty Lego games are still pretty good.
Though I hear that the console version of Chamber of Secrets is the best Harry Potter game because of its open world within Hogwarts.
Yeah, when they added the open world stuff, that's when it kind of got so much better.
Weird.
No, it got better. I mean, like, okay, like Lego Batman 1 is good. Lego Batman 2 is so much better than the first game because you have Gotham City. You have a game where you can basically play as Superman, and when you start flying as Superman, it starts playing the John Williams score. And it's just fun just to fly around as Superman listening to the John Williams Superman march. It's awesome. Or if you're playing as Batman and you're in one of his vehicles, especially his like the Batwing, his helicopter, it starts playing the Danny Elfman Batman score. It's like, yeah.
They care about the detail.
Yeah. And
right?
I mean, really, like, I mean, I'm glad that a lot of the Lego games went open world. Like Lego Batman 3, not that good. I know some people are going to be like, oh, but I like Lego Batman 3. I'm not disparaging someone liking something. I'm just saying that it's not.
Oh, speaking of Batman, I think the licensed game I want is. I mean, they might have made this. I just didn't know about it. It's a Batman Beyond game.
Yeah, they did. It was for the N64. It sucked. But I agree with you. If they made like a new Batman Beyond game, like with like a GTA feel to it, where you had like future Gotham City.
Why didn't they explore like? I'm surprised they haven't explored the Batman Beyond universe yet in the cinematic. Cinematic.
We got like one movie, The Return of the Joker, and a few guest appearances in Static Shock and Justice League Infinite.
Well, in the movie universe, just like because I mean they wanted to make it. I know how a lot of these whoever directs the Batman movies wanted to make a darker take on Batman. And it's like, well, why not Batman Beyond? That was obviously a bit, darker version of that universe.
Well, you just gave me an idea for another perfect licensed game. An actual good Superman video game that's open world, that's overrun by criminals.
I'd be down with that. But here's the thing: if I had my druthers and I was in control of a Superman licensed game, what I would do is I would essentially, I would start the game as you being Superman before he built the Fortress of Solitude. So like he's got classic level Superman powers. He's not Silver Age or Golden Age. He can run faster than a speeding bullet. He can leap tall buildings in a single bound. He can't fly. He's not invincible. And then over time, like you unlock those abilities as time goes on. So there's actually progression. Of course, as you unlock those abilities and become more powerful, the enemies you face get more powerful. So by the end of the game, you're facing
You're facing world destroyers.
Yeah, you're facing world destroyers. You're facing that guy who used to own War World. You're facing. I don't want to do Darkseid because Darkseid's so overdone. You're facing Zod, Ursa, Nan. Heck, you could even have Superman get zapped into the Phantom Zone himself, and him having to fight the criminals that he's locked in the Phantom Zone. That'd be really cool. You can even have him fight you could have him fight Bizarro, who really, like, I know people in that
Bizarro
stupid
weird one.
Well, the thing is, in the Super Friends show, they always make him into a villain, but he's actually more of like a tragic character.
He's a tragedy of like he wants to do good, and he gets tricked into doing evil.
Yeah, and he thinks he's Superman.
He's
a shitty clone who thinks he's Superman.
Yeah, he just wants to try to be a hero. So, if anything, I feel sorry for him. He's the real villain.
And his superpowers are the exact opposite of Superman's powers. Instead of
Bizarro?
Yeah, instead of blowing, he sucks.
Not really. Actually, Bizarro and Superman have the same set of powers. It's just because he's an imperfect clone, he's deformed, and he doesn't have a weakness to kryptonite. Which actually, on a technical level, makes him a better Superman than Superman, because Superman's really powerful, but if you have kryptonite, he's fucked. He's like, oh no, kryptonite.
I was going to say, depends on the kryptonite, because if you get different color kryptonite, God.
Back in the day, yellow kryptonite, he was fucked, okay? Like, Bizarro doesn't have that weakness, which is actually pretty cool, except for the fact that he's all deformed and mutated and, borderline mentally disabled. But aside from that, he's pretty cool. Yeah, that's what I would do. I never want to see another Superman game. I never want to see, as long as the Superman game doesn't have anything to do with that abomination of Man of Steel that Zack Snyder made, I'm happy. Yeah, I said it. Because I hate that movie. But
anyone else have any ideas for their perfect licensed game?
I need a Battle Angel in a game like the car soccer game.
I guess.
So if anything, you get some extra power ups other than just the boost, like some glove gauntlets to lay some extra smackdown, or some spiked heels to trip up your opponent and make them bleed.
I'd be cool with it.
I mean, it's a battle to the death trying to score some goals. Why not make it a battle royale and a sports game at the same time?
I'd be down with it.
Place the compass.
So, I don't know. I guess I can get another one. Let's see, another licensed game. Okay. How about this one? Okay, we've never had a good and Jewel will probably attest to this. We have not had we've had a lot of D&D games, but not the D&D game that people want. Okay, so check this out. Okay, what if you made a open world D&D game where you can create your own character and all that stuff, but you could also get a party of characters and travel the land and do side quests and shit like that. And
I was thinking more like a D&D MMO.
Well, they did that, but it's really grindy and loot boxy, and they lock a lot of stuff behind microtransactions and special keys, and premium currency like that. Yeah.
That isn't that ever. I mean, isn't that Eververse or
Neverwinter
WoW?
Online. It's Neverwinter Online. It's free to play. It's not gonna be good. Yeah. But I mean, what if they made a game I mean, hell, I'd play $80. But what if they made a $60 to $80 game? But you get like the scope of an MMO, and then I mean you could actually do expansions after that made sense. It's like, okay, well initially you can play as like 12 races, so that's like maybe 4 playable races and then the sub races to that race, like classic D&D, not all of them, and then like, okay, we're gonna add the playable monster races as an expansion. So, and not just do you get the playable monster races, you get like new areas to explore, new quests, stuff like that. I think that would be cool. But then the pièce de résistance, they add a module creation kit where people who are really into D&D can create their own adventures and modules and share them. So then you can play other people's adventures. And just to fuck with people, they do one released by the developers of the game, and it's just a conversion of a Gary Gygax module, which means everything's trying to kill you.
That would be evil.
Yeah, because Gary Gygax, as the creator of D&D, his like basically he had some of the most insane everything's trying to fucking kill you games ever.
I thought at least he let you breathe for at least for half a day.
Nope. Gary Gygax, just insane, fucking insane.
And to think he gave up his license.
Huh? I'm still thinking of what other items we haven't covered yet.
I'm surprised.
Okay, Kenoshi, you have any topics you want to bring up? The only thing we're not talking about is Etika's suicide and like major news. But if you have anything else you want to mention, like Epic fucking people over yet again.
Well,
What?
there's only one thing I wanted to mention about that, and that is the YouTube buzzards, the people who are picking apart the dead body for their own gain, the craft nations of YouTube, people who are acting like, oh, I feel so sorry for Etika and his family, but they're just looking to promote their
vultures,
their channels. Yeah, essentially vultures. They don't really care about the guy.
Yeah,
I've seen friends, but that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, they just want to talk about it. They're just like, let's talk about it. It's like, dude, I know that is so morbid.
Yeah.
We already had this when it happened to Iwata.
Yeah, but Iwata didn't commit suicide. He just, had cancer.
I mean, the thing is, what they should have said is like, look, it's too bad that he had to do this, and that I had to come to this, and that's all I'm going to say on the matter. And,
okay. And I was saying, the vulture part, not the endings.
Yeah, I guess making a cry of help, but it just wasn't, it just wasn't working out. That's all you got to do. I mean, because I think when we were talking to her, we're like, yeah, it's, like if but whatever. So I guess
we can go over that later.
What's Epic doing? What are they doing? How are they screwing people over this time?
Well, they're basically talking about how everything they're doing is like all of these exclusivity deals are to make gaming better.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Did I hear that right?
To make gaming better and the industry better, and I'm just like,
I'm trying to I'm trying to be nice and not say anything because of how.
You want gaming to be better. Make your own exclusives, not.
Well, I mean,
exclusives.
the thing is, they do have exclusives, but I'm like, okay, look, you want to create a gaming platform that rivals Steam, and I'm okay with that. I have nothing against that. But your gaming platform sucks. Like, and I mean like the basic format of it. Like,
Yeah,
even good old games
there's
had a cart when it first started. Like
Yeah,
everyone else has a cart. How can you
be so basic that you don't
basically,
have something vital?
Yeah, I mean, I know this sounds really, really stupid, but bitch is just basic. I'm sorry. How can you be so basic? I mean, everyone else has, but
Because
you don't. That bothers me.
yeah, I mean, there's basic and there's fair and there's nude basic, which is what I think Epic is right now. They're so basic that they barely even have anything on.
Yeah. And no one's talking about it. Like, no one's.
I mean, seriously, get some clothes on, Epic.
Everyone's like, well, we want. They're always like, well, we want
Competition.
competition. Look, I have nothing against competition, but this is shitty competition.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind competition, but if the opposition is full of beep, then I'd rather be in Monopoly. Seriously, that's what I would go with. If the competition is beep, then the Monopoly I would take.
Anyway, that's just how I feel. Anyone have anything else they want to mention?
I was gonna say, Pinks is still on the pot trying to create something.
Oh yes, there is. What I do have another license game I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
Yay, Pinks off the pot.
And I know that this was based on a rumor that got deconfirmed. The moment Microsoft's E3 conference was over. But a 2D Godzilla fighting game made by one of the experts of someone like Arc Systems or Capcom or SNK.
I was about to say, I wouldn't trust Capcom with that idea if you paid me or Red Fox that.
Yeah, I would not trust Capcom with a
fighting game idea.
No, I wouldn't trust them with a licensed fighting game because I mean the last licensed fighting game they made was Marvel Infinite, and that game is just oh god.
I was about to say it's rubbish.
Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, that game is just it's something.
Ugh.
It's I mean I can't even like it's something. I mean it's something. That's all I can really say. It's something.
It's enough to make you. It's almost ugly enough to make you slap somebody.
You know, and maybe SNK, maybe Arc System Works. I would trust.
Of course, I also want to give each of the monsters their own stats, like Pokemon's big stats, like HP, attack, defense.
Yeah, but if you do that, Godzilla's gonna be OP. He's just gonna roll over everyone else except for maybe
Rodan has the highest stats for speed, but crummy stats on everything else.
Fair.
Mothra has specializing in special offense and speed. Balance good special offense and speed, but not everything. Like pretty defenses and physical attack and HP. Mechagodzilla having high special defenses.
So basically, you want a fusion of the classic Godzilla, just save the Earth stuff from back in the day, and like a traditional fighting game.
Yeah.
All right. I'd be cool with that.
And of course, Biolante having the highest HP.
But being really slow.
Yeah.
Violante. Which just sounds cool. That's a cool sounding name. She looks kind of cool too, but that's about it. But anyway, yeah, I'll tell you, I've played one really good Godzilla game, like one. I mean, like that wasn't like a classical like beat 'em up or anything like, or one of those brawlers from back in the day. I'll tell you what it is. Okay, it's this game for the MSX 3 called Godzilla Defense Force. And basically, it has like 3 campaigns. One campaign where you're basically like Gojira, right? And one of the monsters. Then has another campaign where you're like the Earth Defense Force trying to stop the monsters. And then you have a third one that you can get after the other 2 where you basically are playing as either of them. Where you play as the Earth Defense Force and Godzilla fighting against aliens trying to invade the Earth. It's actually pretty good. Believe it or not. It's one of those games where it's like, wow, this is better than it has any business being. I can't believe that.
That I can honestly believe.
And each version is like different, which I love. I love that each version of the game is different. Kenoshi, you have something you want to add?
I haven't seen a lot of gaming news.
We're trying to save it for. And
well, there is one major gaming news, but we're gonna save that for Saturday. It's currently going on today.
Yeah. I mean, there's a whole bunch of gaming news coming in. It's insane, man.
You're gonna have to tell me off air because I'm not sure what the heck that is.
Well, there's been a whole bunch coming out this entire week, really. To be honest with you.
Oh, the big Steam sale. That's happening right now.
And it's pretty good. It's a pretty good Steam sale.
Yeah, they've been kind of trashy lately, but it looks pretty decent compared to last couple rounds. So, pick anything up on the Steam sale?
Not yet. Not yet. I'm biding my time.
Yeah.
I like to bide my time. That's how I roll. I'm a biter. I like to bide.
You want to hold out?
No, not really. It's just I like Steam sales because I just like here's the thing. You can never have too many games. People like to pretend like, oh no, I don't want to do that. But having a lot of games is great.
Yeah.
And having too many games is even better.
We could talk about a book about Iwata that's coming out soon in Japan.
I mean, you can. I mean, to be honest with you, it still hurts to mention Satoru Iwata because he was such a cool dude. In my humble opinion.
Yeah.
There's more details about the book will be revealed on July 1st, 2019.
I just never.
It's basically an autobiography of his past life, of his past time
Yeah, I just watched. I just watched the, like I mentioned before, watched the direct last couple of weeks ago during near the end of E3 week, and I was like, what the heck were people freaking out about? It was a couple months before. It was like a month or so before he died. And I remember everybody freaking out, wanting to burn him in an effigy. I'm just kind of like, what? Looking back on it, it's like there's really nothing to freak out about, except maybe there weren't any surprises, but you got release dates. The games that you were crying about not having release dates.
I think people just wanted a reason to bitch and complain. Really, that's my personal, professional opinion. People like bitching and complaining. That's what it boils down to. People like bitching and complaining. And I know some people are going to get angry when they hear that. They're going to be like, "How dare you, sir?" But
I mean, there were a few surprises in that direct, just not the surprises everybody wanted. So yeah, whatever. And it was just kind of funny when he died. Everybody was like, "Oh, Iwata was such a great man." It's like, yeah, just 2 weeks ago, you guys wanted to hang the guy.
Yeah, that's the thing that got me. That's the thing that got me. They're like, "Yeah, he was a great man." It's like you literally were shitting on the man like a few days ago, man. Like someone cannot be either or. Either he was a great man or he was a piece of shit. He can't be both. I mean, like logically speaking, yes, someone can be both, right? Like someone can be a trailblazer for one thing and be a piece of shit morally speaking. But I mean, generally speaking, the way these people were talking about Iwata, I was just like, come on, man. I mean, was Iwata perfect? No, but no one's perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. He was I still say Satoru Iwata was still a much better CEO than a lot of the other video game CEOs that are out right now. And I stand by that statement. I don't care what anyone says. Oh, don't say that. Come on, man. Like this bullshit with Activision where they were like firing people, right? Doing crunch time, not giving people money, and yet they had the nerve to hire some dude with a $15 million signing bonus. Like, how are you going to tell someone we don't have the money to have these people work here, but then you have money to hire someone for $15 million? Okay. We know what your priorities are.
What the heck? What did they hire this person for?
He's the new like person in charge of Blizzard.
So they cut people's jobs and did all this. Man, people are still going to support the Call of Duty games and stuff. So whatever.
I have nothing against it. I'm just saying it's just kind of weird that it's just kind of weird that someone would, do all that, and then it's like I mean, but this happens in business all the time. Like a company says we don't have the money to do this, and this, and then it turns out, oh, they just didn't put them they put their money in some other bullshit, Like we've seen that happen multiple times.
Yeah, we've seen that happen with EA.
Yeah. It's like, and I've said this before, the only reason that they're standing behind BioWare right now is so that they can get BioWare to make some bullshit that they can sell people on, that they're going to fool people and say, oh no, this is a good game.
Anthem's dead, isn't it? It's pretty much dead at this point.
It's basically dead. And I don't know why everyone's surprised, because the thing is like, BioWare has made 5 games at this point that have been like mediocre to bad. Right? Like normally, like you like in baseball, you get 3 strikes and you're out. How many chances are we going to give BioWare and EA? Because I mean, okay, like BioWare made Mass Effect 3, which was not good. Dragon Age 2, which was not good. Dragon Age Inquisition, which was not good. Mass Effect Andromeda, which was not good. And then Anthem, which is also not good. They've had 5 games come out that are just like mediocre at best. So when are people going to be like, nah, I can't deal with it?
And begrudgingly enough, Inquisition won Game of the Year back in 2014.
Yeah. Yeah, I always thought that was bullshit, personally. Because Dragon Age Inquisition is just, it's a boring game. And, I mean, an RPG, like, RPGs already have enough shit going against them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, because when you play an RPG, you're going to reach that portion of an RPG where shit starts to get grindy. That's just kind of the way it is. And I know some people are going to be like, how could you say that? But really, anyone who plays RPGs knows, even like some of the best RPGs, there's that point where it starts to get really grindy and a little bit boring, and you have to be dedicated, So that's just kind of hilarious to me. But
that is true.
And Dragon Age Inquisition, like literally most of that game is just bad. And I know some people are going to be like, but I like Dragon Age Inquisition. I've had people make that argument to me. But I hate them. That game is so bad. Oh, it's so bad. Oh, I was offended with that title.
Oh man.
Yeah, and I don't normally because the only reason I'm offended by Dragon Age Inquisition is because I bought it because I like I was one of those people who fed into, well, maybe it'll be good, maybe it'll be decent. No. Dragon Age Inquisition is it's better than Dragon Age 2, but that's not a glowing that's not a glowing endorsement, because literally you could play a pen and paper tabletop game that's better than Dragon Age 2. And I don't mean D&D or anything. I just mean something that's slightly better than D&D too. And I mean Dragon Age 2, and it's good.
Yeah, you were very disappointed with that game.
Yeah, I made a video about how bad it was. And everyone was shocked. They were like, well, why don't you like that game? I don't like it because it's so bad. And they knew that game was bad. Because you play that game and it's literally like, you play it and it's like, this game is terrible. It's missing, it's Like, you know, an RPG is in trouble when they start recycling dungeons.
Ooh boy.
Yeah. Like, if you start recycling dungeons and you're making an RPG, that RPG is already pretty much fucked. I know some people are gonna get mad when you say that. So, anyone have anything else they want to say before we move on to the next topic?
Well, I know we burned through the main topic.
All right. Okay, we'll move on to the next topic. Well, yesterday was 6/25, June 25th, 10th anniversary of Michael Jackson, the king of pop, who died in OD. Who here has a favorite Michael Jackson era and song and skin tone?
Mine is
Very funny.
Mine is Smooth Criminal.
Yeah, a lot of people like Smooth Criminal. I like it too. I mean, really, to tell you the truth, I like I like 3 of the 4 Michael Jackson eras of music. I liked him when he was when he was just the Jackson 5. I liked him when he was in that transition period between going completely solo and still kind of being with the Jackson 5. I liked him in the early days of being solo with like Off the Wall and Thriller and stuff like that. And I even liked him in his early days where he was like doing Bad and Moonwalker and stuff like that. But man, those last few years, like some of those songs were not good.
Those are a mess. Yeah, I know.
Some of them were good. Like Butterflies was good. You Rock My World. That was good, but some of them was like, no, Mike, nah. He had a pretty good run. but yeah.
So if anything, he had a little bit of a bad landing at the end, but overall he did good.
What about the songs that were posted after his death?
Yeah, they're Tupacing it with that, and I'm like, man, I don't want music released after an artist died because it feels almost disrespectful to me. To me, that feels disrespectful. But that's my own personal opinion. I know some people feel differently. They're like, they love an artist so much they want to hear all his music. Anyone have Kenoshi? You have a favorite Michael Jackson era?
Maybe the song is called Why?
What?
Or Human Nature?
Yeah, Human Nature. A lot of people like that. I never liked that song, but I know people who like it, so I'm not going to get mad about it. Human Nature.
The fact that it could have been potentially...
So it's usually between Thriller, Bad, and Smooth Criminal. They get the most fame.
You know, like the thing is that I like Smooth Criminal, but like let's be honest, the reason we all like Smooth Criminal is because of that damn music video. Because that is such a badass music video. I mean, like really, there was a time when every fucking like he had like 3-4 music videos that were just insane. Thriller, Beat It, Bad, and Annie, Are You Okay? AKA Smooth Criminal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's like some of the most badass fucking music videos ever. And this was during the time where music videos were king. Like music videos were just like insanely badass. Like you had Peter Gabriel's Sledgehammer. That is like one of the best music videos ever. If you guys can go on YouTube and look up Sledgehammer, it is such an awesome music video. It was one of the principal music videos that got MTV off the ground. It is so fucking awesome.
What video is that?
Peter Gabriel's Sledgehammer.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Song, but the music video is insane. It is like, oh god, I'm losing my mind. The other good music video from back in those times was Aha's "Take on Me," where it's like animated. It's like got these pencil drawings that are animated. It's awesome. I mean, music videos in the '80s were just awesome. Like I remember,
They were a blast, right?
Yeah, you would have your friends come over. And like basically, here's how TV was, because TV is kind of not the way it used to be. But back in the day, here's how TV worked. Okay, you would go for our younger viewers. Television, basically, like in the morning, you'd have your cartoons. Okay, like from like 7, well, from like 8 to like 9 or 10, you'd have cartoons. Okay, then at 10 o'clock, if depending on the channel, you would have like. They'd start transitioning from cartoons to shit adults would watch. Now, if you're like me and a kid and you were between that kindergarten age and state old age, like at that point, you would watch, you'd change the channel to something else. And then you'd go to MTV or VH1 and watch music videos. Or around 11, you'd watch Soul Train because, Soul Train had music. And then around 12 there would be on TBS or TNN there'd be Monster Vision or with Grandpa from the Munsters, where you'd watch your Godzilla movie or your monster film, your cheesy shitty special effects monster film that had practical special effects that were just terrible but you loved it anyway. Where inevitably you'd have some shitty white policeman with a little like handgun trying to shoot at the monster and it's not doing shit. I'm like, man, if you shot this monster twice and your gun's not doing shit, run. Why are you standing there? Run. But yeah, you'd invite your friends over sometimes on the weekend and you just watch music videos. And it didn't matter. You just watch the music video. Even if it was music you didn't like, you'd watch it. Like you'd watch Scorpion with Here I Am, Rock You Like a Hurricane. You'd watch the Beastie Boys. You gotta fight for the right to party.
I listen to that song sometimes on my radio.
Yeah. Like, I mean, like, look, that's my problem with J.J. Abrams. He's like, look, I understand you like the Beastie Boys. I like the Beastie Boys too. But, like, you keep on playing the music for the Beastie Boys in your Star Trek films that would not go with a Star Trek film. If I was gonna, like, there's one song they made that would go perfect with a Star Trek film. Intergalactic Planetary.
Intergalactic.
Why did you not play that? That's like the one Beastie Boys song that would totally go with a Star Trek film.
Seriously, that actually works.
Like,
and they blew it.
But then again, J.J. Abrams is like, if I can find a way to fuck it up, I will.
Yeah.
Inadvertently. I mean, and I know some people say you just hate it. No, one of my favorite Harrison Ford films that actually has Harrison Ford acting and not playing a version of Han Solo. And I know some people will be like, what do you mean he's not playing a version of Han Solo? No, seriously, there is a movie where he's not playing a version of Han Solo, and I love it. And it's called Regarding Henry, and it's this film where he plays this lawyer who's cheating on his wife, and like he goes to get some smokes, and the little corner store where he goes to get his cigarettes is robbed, and he gets shot in the head. And like they remove the bullet, but he's got massive brain trauma. He's in a coma, and he comes out of it, but he's not the same person he was when he got shot in the head. So like he completely has to relearn everything. Has to relearn his memory. Has to relearn how to interact with his daughter and his wife. And literally, from this horrific tragedy, he becomes a better person. It's a really good film. And it has Harrison Ford not playing a version of Indiana Jones or Han Solo, and it's great. And I know some people say, well, he was Jack Ryan. Jack Ryan's just Indiana Jones and Han Solo, except now he's a CIA analyst. but but he actually acts and has some range. And you know who did the screenplay for that movie? J.J. Abrams.
Wow.
So yes, I do. I mean, J.J. Abrams isn't the terrible piece of shit he normally is, but he hasn't been like he hasn't been good lately, in my opinion. But hey, you know, everyone has their own. But that's either here or there.
So can we get?
Oh, we were talking about music videos. I don't know how it devolved into that. That's my fault.
Are we gonna move on to another topic?
Remember, before we move on to you probably know this, but the first music video MTV ever showed?
I think it was Video Killed the Radio Star.
Yeah.
Which is ironic because it's totally true. Video did kill the radio star.
Yeah.
See, we're dating ourselves now because you'd have to be of the age group to know that shit.
Which is about the 1980s, mind you.
Yep, you got to be an 80s kid to know this shit. So I guess we can move on to the next topic. So anyone seen any good movies lately? Or looking forward to any movies lately?
Yes, I've seen Toy Story.
Has anybody seen that?
I did not. I heard it was good, but I was like, I'm burnt out on Toy Story, not because I watched all the other films in theaters, but because when the first Toy Story came out, my parents worked, so I had after school care, and basically like the only literally they showed movies in after school care. And 4 out of 5 times, every time they show a movie, it would always fucking be Toy Story.
Toy Story.
Even if you love Toy Story, if you had to watch it
over and over and over and over and over again, you're gonna get ill of it.
Hate that movie, and that's basically what happened to me. Like I hate that movie.
I can imagine you hate the song that was about it too.
But one time they showed something cool. They showed The Empire Strikes Back, the director's cut version that had none of the stuff cut out of it. You know, the really good one. It was nice. I liked it. But aside from that, just a lot of. But anyway, how's Toy Story 4? I heard it was good.
Yeah, it really is. I was worried the moment they announced Toy Story 4 because years ago they said there was going to be no more Toy Story films after the third one since it ended on a satisfying conclusion.
Yeah, but it's Disney, and Disney treats their IPs like a pimp treats his hoes. You better go out there and make some money. God damn it!
After seeing it myself,
I was gonna say, apparently they can't let the cash cow rest.
Let me ask you something: is Mickey gonna have to choke a bitch?
After watching it, but now that I watched it, it was as breathtaking as Keanu Reeves' character.
Yeah, I heard that was an interesting character. Let me ask you something. Goofy, hold him down while I take this hanger and put it on this, put it over this eye of this hot stove.
And of course, last month they mentioned that there might be a Toy Story 5, and after watching it, and after seeing it, and after watching the entire film, I can understand why.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to the fifth one in the future. Once that. Right now they're more focused on more original films.
My only problem with Pixar is that they keep on making sequels to movies that I'm like, look, could we give it a rest and go do something? I mean, because I guess I got kind of burnt out during those Cars years because those movies are just not very good.
Next year they're gonna be releasing 2 original IPs.
I know. But here's the thing. If I was gonna I'm like, look, there's 2 films that Pixar did that I would love for them to do sequels to. Up and Wall-E. But those movies are really fucking depressing. So, Up, the first 5 minutes of Up are just like heartbreaking. It's like, oh, Jesus, oh no, that's too deep, And Wall-E is actually a really I like that movie. They could totally do a sequel to that. And they don't have to get all the voice actors because most of it was just, most of Wall-E's a silent film basically, which I like.
It could be about the robots trying to rebuild the Earth alongside with the humans.
Yeah, that'd be a nice little thing. Because Wall-E had a nice little environmental message there and a message about consumerism, and if you're so much of a consumer, you'll become fat and useless. You fat and useless pieces of shit. Technology can save you, but only if you give it a chance. But yeah, I thought it was like overall it's a pretty good film. But yeah, I saw Shaft last weekend.
Oh yeah, Shaft.
Yeah, I saw Shaft. I liked it. I liked it so much it made me want to go back and watch the original Shaft movies, which I did, and those are good too. even
high quality, ladies and gentlemen.
What?
I was saying that's high quality comedy, ladies and gentlemen.
Shaft? Oh no, the first Shaft movies aren't really funny.
I was being sarcastic.
Yeah, they're not really funny. They're more of like a higher budget blaxploitation film, but with some money behind it, and it's pretty badass. I mean, like the first movie, Richard Roundtree throws a motherfucker out of a window of the 3rd floor of a building. It's pretty badass. Like, god damn. This is the 70s, mind you.
Has anyone seen the Child's Play reboot? Because according to Gillian Stats, it's pretty bad, pretty awful.
I have a friend who saw it. I saw part of it because I was like, my movie didn't start for like another 20 minutes, and I was like, I got to kill 15 minutes because normally when I go to the movie theater, I get there early, and so I have time to kill.
So you got at least some time to check over things.
Well, the thing is, okay, normally I watch a movie when it comes out because I want to see what's coming out in the future. But I saw Men in Black International. Look, I did not pay to see it. I had to write a critique for it. It's not good. Don't save your money, please. But
I was gonna say that I have a feeling that MIBI was iffy but interesting.
Well, the thing that Sony didn't understand is that a buddy cop movie really works when you have people that feel like they're buddy cops.
And yet MIBI doesn't have that feeling.
Well, Chris Helmsley is trying his best, but Tessa Thompson just ain't feeling it. Kadoshi, you have any thoughts, or are you leaving us?
Oh no, I don't particularly have any thoughts.
All right. You've got to have some thoughts, man. You're alive. I'm joking.
Ow.
But, I don't know what films.
By the way,
I don't know what films.
By the way, thanks for the save.
What?
I was saying thanks for the save.
No, what were you gonna say?
What I was gonna say is what films are coming out this week.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think next week Spider-Man comes out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Spider-Man.
Far From Home, where they brought in the multiverse and shit like that, which is actually pretty damn cool. I like that. I like that idea. You know what that means, right? Now that they've brought in the multiverse, they can bring in alternate versions of characters, which they already did. They have alternate universe.
Alternate universe Spider-Man. and they got
No.
alternate universes of
Spider-Man. Star-Lord's girlfriend.
Garuma.
Well, you might even get an alternate version of Iron Man.
No, I think Robert Downey Jr. is not coming back.
An Iron Man played by a different actor because he's from an alternate universe.
Nice try.
I think it would be better if they just had Rhodey be the new Iron Man, because he's done that before in the comics. Which it's about time for Don Cheadle to take over the role. Wouldn't that be cool? The new Iron Man is Rhodey, and the new Captain America is Falcon. That'd be cool. I mean, they're already doing that, but it's still cool. Or they could just make the new leader of the Avengers be T'Challa, which makes a lot of sense because he's done it before in the comics. So why not? Because I know some people okay. I didn't like the Captain Marvel movie, not because of its pro-feminism message, but because Brie Larson just does not really pull off that role with the plume. But maybe she'll get better, because people forget the first two Thor movies were trash.
Yeah.
Like, the first movie was okay. I'll tell you that. The first movie was okay. It wasn't great. It was okay. The second movie was trash. I mean, it was not good at all. So it took like 2 movies for Thor to become an interesting character. So maybe Captain Marvel can, maybe she can uplift herself in the next film if she gets another film. Maybe they can make her into a more interesting character. But as she is right now, like, Brie Larson is just not. I'm not feeling it. I know some people get angry. How could you say that? You're saying you don't like women.
Simple.
I love women. I have a girlfriend.
Simple.
I love women.
She's not in the part right, or is not suited for the part.
No, I'm pretty sure she could play. Like, the thing is just she doesn't really. She's not really coming across as being as interesting a character as she could be, and I just think they're not really playing her. They're not playing her well.
Which is kind of sad that there's female characters that have some depth into them, and they're being portrayed by poor acting.
Well, I mean, Black Widow's finally getting her movie. Finally. After years of begging.
So, if anything, she's going to be repeat.
And Taskmaster is going to be the villain in that movie.
Yeah, but Taskmaster is not really a villain. He's more like a
undercover agent by Nick Fury.
He's not. No, it's like Taskmaster's more like a. In the comics, I mean, he's more mercenary. Like if you pay him enough, he'll work for heroes. If he'll work for the villains, like, he's all about getting paid. So it's kind of like Wolverine. Everyone likes to pretend like Wolverine's a hero. It's like people forget Wolverine used to work as a government assassin for the Canadian government. Like, he's more of like a anti-hero than a hero.
A guy for hire, right?
Yeah, he's more gray than being he's more chaotic neutral than being chaotic good or chaotic evil. For those who are D&D, who are into D&D. Same thing with Taskmaster. But I mean, this is the cinematic version of Taskmaster, so it's always different. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, any other movies anyone saw that they were like, wow, this movie, or wants to see? Any trailers where someone's like, man, this shit's going to be awesome?
I do want to see The Dead Don't Die as well as my dad, but it's not being played in my theaters.
I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to. September 8th, It Chapter 2.
And at least it's not a horror horror movie that is like the horror movie game that's coming out this October, I think.
I just hope that they have that line from the TV movie where when Ben, who used to be fat, meets Pennywise, he's like, "Kiss me, fat boy." I'm like, come on, man, it's so iconic.
If they get the tone right like that, then oh god, you're gonna be having the time of your life.
Well, the thing is, like Pennywise, like okay, my problem with the new It movie is that Pennywise just is not like Pennywise comes across as this leering pedophile who wants to molest these children, which technically speaking, like a pedophile, Pennywise consumes children, because they're easy prey. And so, I mean, it's almost like an equation with being a pedophile, where he almost can't control himself.
How fun!
Like if you watch the opening of It, where he's trying to lure he's trying to lure he's trying to lure Bill's brother in. He's like,
Georgie.
Yeah, Georgie. And he has this look on his face while he's trying to lead him, where he's just drooling. And he's looking at this kid just drooling. He's like, yeah, that's a real pedo thing going on there. Like the old Pennywise, it's like, yeah, he had that, like, but like he was hiding it much better. But I mean, it kind of slipped out. He's like, yeah, he's like, yeah, we have balloons down here, and you'll float. Down here, we all float. And like the way he says it, it comes across. It comes across as a little.
Ain't right.
Yeah, it comes across as a little where it slips. But I mean, the new film, they kind of go too much with the jump scares and not enough with the psychological horror. But I'm hoping with the next film, this one coming up, they'll go with more psychological horror, less jump scares. So jump scares are cheap unless they're earned. Like there are very few horror movies that earn the jump scare.
Like seriously, make a build up. I'm sorry if I get sexual with this part, but here it goes. Seriously, you gotta give these guys tension. Give them suspense. Give them something to feel, something to be uneasy about, something that makes them want to find out what's going on, and then you give them that big burst of feeling that makes them either scream in harmonious fear or laugh out loud in failure.
Although I will say this much, I will never watch It with a crowd of black people ever again. Because
Don't tell me. They saw
these people, Jesus fucking Christ.
They
ignorant.
saw it a mile away, didn't they?
Like, shut the fuck up so people can Sir, fucking
Are you serious? Are you serious that there were some black people? Because
yeah, they were black people. Like, okay, there's a stereotype that when black people go to the movies, they talk to the film, and this actually happened. People don't go in there, nah, bitch. Mm-mm. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ! I was so pissed the fuck off watching this movie, and people brought their little kids to the film. I'm like, this film's fucking rated R.
Yeah, I never understood that.
Wait.
Did
I hear that right?
It's got borderline incest rape going on in it, and you're bringing a fucking little
kids to an R-rated movie.
And this isn't like
guys targeting kids as victims.
No, I mean there's different types of R ratings. Okay, there's R rating because it's got violence in it, maybe a little bit of nudity, but not real nudity. Kind of like the new Hellboy movie. That movie was rated R, but it wasn't like rated R. You know what I mean? It had some cussing in it and a little bit of side boob and some and CGI fake ass violence, and it was like, that's R, but it's not like R. You know what I mean?
It's not.
But then there are movies where it's like the subject material is really dark, really mature, and it's like, I don't think a kid is gonna appreciate this film. Why the fuck? Like,
You mean like Blade Runner?
Yeah. But Blade Runner is more esoteric. When I say an R film that deals with really heady and esoteric concepts, it's kind of like Mississippi Burning is a rated R film. Mississippi Burning is about how the FBI went undercover in the South to bust the KKK in certain communities. And it's like, that's really dense material. Like, I don't think you should be like 6, 7 years old watching Mississippi Burning. Or Rosewood, where like because of a racist allegation made against a black man, like all these black people are rounded up in this town in Florida and their property is destroyed and people are murdered and tortured because some lady claimed a black guy raped her when in fact that did not happen. Like, that's really like, why are you bringing a 5 or 6 year old to see this? Like, this is not 5 or 6 year old material. This is not for little 5 or 6 years olds. I don't like it. But I also don't like people fucking running their mouths talking while I'm watching the movie. Like that's why I'm glad they added a premium theater where I live, where it's kind of expensive to get in. So maybe some of those people won't show up. And if they do, they spent so much money to get in that they actually want to watch the movie as the way it was meant to be seen, which means they shut the fuck up and watch the film. Because, you know, film like theater is a thing where there is no audience participation. Your job is to sit your ass down and watch. And there are some times where there is warranted audience reaction. Like if you're watching a comedy,
there's supposed to be laughter.
Yeah. If you're watching a comedy, laugh. Watching a horror movie and some shit goes down, and you're like a gasp or oh, okay, fair enough. But if you're talking to the film, shut the fuck up. Please, just do us all a favor and shut the fuck up. And if you can't, and if you don't like watching scary movies, don't come here anyway, because you know.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, I'm one of the people that will admit that I'm not a scary movie fan. I try to keep away from that steep.
Yeah. Some people can't handle it. I mean, me personally, I like well-made scary movies. I don't like
torture porn
jump
stuff.
Scare.
I don't like the bad. I don't like stuff that's just gory just for the sake of gore, and I don't like jump scares. They're like, oh, you jumped. I jumped because you fucking played a loud noise after a quiet period of time. That doesn't count as, oh, we scared the audience. That counts, you startled people. You know? It's like if someone pops a balloon near your head, you're gonna jump. It's not because you're scared; it's because you're startled. It's a physiological reaction.
What if there's a horror movie where the monster kills his victims right through a jump scare? Like,
I mean, they do that occasionally, but typically they don't. Like, okay, I'll give you a movie where there's a jump scare in it and it was earned. John Carpenter's The Thing. Okay, there's a scene in that movie where McCready ties up everybody and he's doing the blood test, right? And the whole scene is just building tension because he's basically taking the blood sample and he's taking a hot needle and he's sticking it in the thing. And it's like, you don't know who's a thing. He's sticking it in the blood sample. He's like, psst. He's like, it's your turn. Psst. Okay, all right. It's like the next guy. Psst. Then he gets to the third guy. He's like, okay, let's try you. But just as he's sticking it in there, you don't hear the psst. You hear the blood jumps out of the petri dish and crawls away. And the guy who's tied to the chair starts transforming into a thing. And it's really an earned fucking jump scare because you're like, shit. Okay, that's earned. Like, because there was tension built. And you knew something was gonna come up. You didn't know what the fuck it was. Okay, I don't know what's gonna happen.
It was anticipation. It was a growth of bliss before you release.
Yes.
That kind of.
Yes, it was.
That's how horror. that's how horror should work in a sense.
To use the sexual example, it was a lot of foreplay and then a release. You don't just go to release. There's got to be some buildup. Okay.
This is Red Fox. I'm blaming you for actually having me think of horror movies like sex. Thank you very much.
I mean, that's basically. I mean, even when you use in literary terms, they're like, well, you have in literature, you have the buildup, and then you have the climax, and then you have the release at the end, which literary forms, the narrative is all about a series of buildups, climaxes, the after effect, and then till you get to the major overarching part of the story, which is the major climax of the story, and then the after thing where it's just what happened to all the people at the end. And basically that's the general literary structure in Western literature. Now they break that up. I mean, you have something like Charles Dickens, who, because his novels were serialized, he kind of built it to be a little bit smaller, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's
But
just
anyway.
that anything. I was remembering how I worded it with you, and then I just realized what I just said.
But anyway, yeah, but yeah, I don't like shitty ass
Jump scares.
Yeah, because it needs to be earned. Like I said, the shit needs to be earned. You can't just look, the guy got shot.
Oh, okay. Be careful.
Anyway, anyone else have anything to say before we wrap things up? We're at the end of the podcast.
I do want to mention Take-Two CEO stating that exploiting consumers is freedom of speech.
Okay, yeah. All right.
Then we got the freedom of speech to deny him green.
Okay, fair enough. All right. If that's what he wants to go with.
But basically his defense against those microtransaction laws that's being passed.
Hey guys, I'm gonna head out. I'll talk to you guys on Saturday.
We're just finishing, so why don't you sign off?
My name is Kamoshi Abominito, here to say that if you know somebody who's interested in buying a computer, hit me up at set me up on like MeWe or Discord. Private message me on MeWe or Discord. Or if anybody out there is interested in buying a computer, hit me up on MeWe or Discord. So, all right, I'll talk to you guys later.
All right. Mr. Red Fox, owner proprietor BS Busters. If you want to reach me, you can reach me on Twitter at Matthew Wesley at Mr. Red Fox 91. You can also reach me on Gmail at Mr. Red Fox. Mr. Red Fox BS Buster at gmail.com. With that being said, stay tuned. I have a video coming out tomorrow where I will be breaking down and busting the bullshit statements that EA's Andrew Wilson made about why Anthem failed, because it's so full. It's so it has to be debunked. I will also
want to see that one.
Yes, I will also talk about. I'll also be releasing a video tomorrow talking about why live services, for the way these various publishers want to call them versus what other platform holders might want to call them, are two completely different things, and why one could possibly be good and the other one is probably going to be them trying to screw you over. So with that being said, that's what's coming up next few weeks. Remember, rate, comment, share, subscribe, and ding that bell if you want to stay up to date when we go live, do our podcast. Of course, we do a podcast we do 2 podcasts every week, one Wednesday, one Friday. Saturday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you would like to be a member of the podcast, you can reach me on the aforementioned links I said earlier, Twitter, Gmail. Thank you. Good night. Peace. And I guess we could say FEA. Sony,
Epic.
Activision, Epic. There's an entire list of people that need to be given the finger, but that's neither here nor there. Good night.